Hey, what's up? It's Chris Martin, and maybe you're thinking about getting your real estate license. Maybe you just got your real estate license. And the next step is where you should go as far as your brokerage. What brokerage should you join? Well, I'm about to share with you the top things you should be thinking about before joining a brokerage. You ready? Let's go. So for me, I'm going to share with you guys the things that are important to me when joining a brokerage and the things that I think you should be thinking about. So I'm a part of an awesome brokerage, and if you're ever thinking about joining a brokerage and you're in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Maine area, definitely reach out. I'd be happy to have that conversation with you. I'm not going to actively pitch you guys on the brokerage that I'm with. I'll be referencing it a lot, but these are the things you're going to be wanting to think about. So first things first, and these can be in any particular order depending on who you are. Some things might be more important to you than others. So don't think that these are the order on which the order of importance for you just because I'm listing them in this order. So let's talk about financials. Financials are obviously, for me, one of the most important things when I'm joining a brokerage. I want to know what the financials are going to be. What am I going to have to pay the brokerage, right? What does that split look like? What percentage am I going to get, and what percentage do I have to pay the brokerage? So with the brokerage that I'm at, we offer a really favorable split for even new agents just joining out. So what does that look like if you're a new agent versus if you're a seasoned agent that's been in the business for a while? Do those splits vary? What does that look like? So you're going to find a lot of agencies, they have a percentage where they're giving you 60%, they're giving you 50%, 70%, 80%. You're going to have these different splits. You want to find out what they are. You want to see what you would actually net from a commission check once you sell a property. So if you sell a property and you get $10,000 as your portion of the commission, how much of that are you going to actually walk home with? So outside of the financials, as far as the split that you give to your brokerage, are there any other financials you have to think about? And a lot of the times there are. With a lot of companies, they have monthly fees that you pay towards your E&O, your errors and omissions insurance, or fees that you pay for your technology fee, or just random fees that you're paying on a monthly basis, whether you're selling real estate or not. Sometimes it's transactional fees that every time you close a transaction, you have to pay a transactional fee. So you want to find out what that looks like, because you can ask a brokerage or someone who's trying to recruit you, what's your split, and they can give you a split. Our split is 70, I'm not saying our split, but I'm using another brokerage for example. Well, they're going to offer 70-30. Yeah, they're offering 70-30 at the surface, but they may not be telling you right out of the gate that you have to pay a 6% royalty, or there's a monthly fee that you have to pay that covers your technology and all these other things. So after all that's said and done, you're walking away with closer to 60% of your expected 70% commission. So find out what that looks like. All right. So I think a cap is important. I would probably not work for any brokerage that doesn't have a cap. Ultimately, it's going to come into play. Maybe not your first year. In a capped model, you basically only pay in a certain amount to your brokerage. So, for instance, we have a $20,000 cap. So if the cap is $20,000, you're not going to pay more than $20,000 into the brokerage. So for every commission check that you have, again, let's just say it's a $10,000 commission check, just for the sake of easy math, since I'm not a mathematician, but I can calculate the hell out of a commission, tell you that right now. But let's just say that it's a $10,000 commission. You get 70%, the company gets 30%. From the 30% that the company collects, once that accumulates, once that gets to that 20K or whatever the cap is, then you go right to 100%. In our case, it's an 80-20 cap. 20% gets, the company gets 20%, and once that gets to $20,000, you would get 100% moving forward until your anniversary date, which would be whatever date that you join. So you have you have the goal of being able to cap. It's actually a realistic opportunity for you where you're not going to have to sell all these ridiculous amount of real estate in order to cap. You could actually do it in a reasonable amount of time. So just to give you some perspective, I did not cap my first year, but I capped every year after that. So I didn't cap my first year, but capped every year after that, where I was able to earn 100% commission. And I can tell you, when you're calculating commission and you're getting 100% of it, the math is really easy on that. So getting a cap for me is super important. All right, another thing that is important when choosing a brokerage is what type of support and training you are going to get. So what does that look like? What type of training do they offer? What type of support do they offer? And here's the thing about training too that I would want to know a little bit more about. So there's some companies and some brokerages that say, yeah, we offer training and we offer training at all these different times. Who's doing that training? Because if the person doing that the training is only as good as the person that is delivering it, right? So if they're like, oh, we have this awesome training calendar, but you go into the training and that agent only sold 2 houses in their lifetime. And you're like, who am I learning from? I'm learning from this agent that, yeah, they sound good, but they barely sold real estate. Is that the type of training you want? Maybe that's okay with you. But maybe you want someone doing the training that has actually was in the field and, they have a resume. They sold hundreds of homes. They've been on the level that you want to be at. So who's doing the training to me is important. It may not be for you, but for me, I want to know who's doing the training. What does that training look and sound like? So with our brokerage, again, if there's any questions relative to our brokerage, we open our training up where you can come in and sit in on a training, even if you're not a part of the brokerage, just so you can kind of hear some of the training and see if it'd be a good fit for you. How is that training actually distributed? Is it in person? Is it online? Is it virtual? I like both. I feel there's something special about being in person. There's some virtual brokerages out there that everything's virtual. You put on your Oculus and that's how you interact and watch training. And for me, that's cool. I think that there's a place for that. But there's some energy about being in person sometimes, or at least the option to be in person. For me, that's important. So I'm not going to go to every single training that's on the calendar, personally, if I was an agent. But it'd be nice to drop in on a training here and there, and then maybe pick up the other training virtually. So for us, for instance, at Cameron, you get offered training in person. It's 3 days a week, and you also get the live training online. You get to stream the training. You could also watch it on demand. So there's plenty of content that you can consume, whether it's in person or on demand. But what does that training look like from the brokerage that you're considering? I would ask and see if you can somehow get a feel of that. If you can sit in on a training, and if their training is open to you for you to sit in on. What that training is about is important as well. What type of training is that? Is it all basic level training, and that's needed in the beginning? But as you grow and your business develops, what type of training is offered then? So again, for me, that basic level training is important. You're going to need to set a strong foundation in how to write offers and how to understand paperwork and all these things that come along with real estate. Am I going to get that from the classes? And then beyond that, what type of training? So I like different levels of training. So am I going to be able to really collaborate with other agents that are on higher levels and be able to get a glimpse in on their businesses and see what they're doing and what's working for them and what's not working, and being able to have those classes and also those mastermind sessions with other agents in the office that are successful that I can learn from and they can learn from me. So being able to get that type of training to me is important. I really wanted investing to be a big part of my real estate business. So right out of the gate, I knew I wanted to be an investor, so investing was important to me. Is there anything within the brokerage that I can tap into that can help me in my investing business? And that is, to me, one of the biggest factors I feel that a lot of companies aren't really offering all that much of. And of course, you can seek out that knowledge on your own, but it's nice to have that incorporated within the brokerage, to where not only do you get the training, but you can rub shoulders and bump elbows with other agents that are doing it, to be able to, again, to collaborate with, and to be able to see what they're doing for deals. Maybe you can get a deal from them that they're not willing to pick up and stuff like that. So what type of real estate training topics are you interested in, and if the brokerage is actually offering those? So there's so many different things that you may want to consider when joining a brokerage. Here's another one that I think is important: the culture. What's the culture like within the office and within the brokerage? And the culture, there's so many of these different subcategories that can fall under the culture. What is the office like? What's the vibe like? What's the energy like? Are you going into a training and you're the only one there? Are you going into, do they have events outside of business hours, whether it's a drinks and apps or a painting night or a bowling night or whatever? Are there other events outside of the office that the office is doing to encourage that positive culture and to create that culture? So, for me, I think it's important. Although I may not attend all of these different activities and events, it's nice to have it's nice to know that if I wanted to participate in one of these activities that it's there for me to do that. So I know we have an awesome tailgate party coming up where we're going to have some food trucks and ice cream truck, food truck, and it's just going to be a way for us to show our agents appreciation, get all of our agents together, have a few drinks, network, and just have fun outside of real estate. Of course, the topics are still always real estate when we're having those discussions, but it's nice to be able to offer those events and, you know, see 40, 50, 60, 100 people attend them, and it's just a positive thing all around. Will you fit into the brokerage that you're looking into? I think this is an important question to ask yourself, and only you can answer it. It's okay being a little selfish, or a lot selfish in this case. Be selfish in choosing a brokerage and finding out, is this going to be a good fit for me? I know for me, I like diversity in nationality. I like diversity in ages and making sure that I'm going to be exposed to different aged real estate agents. I don't want to just be a part of a brokerage that everyone's 80 plus years old and they're talking about how it was 30, 40 years ago in real estate and how today's a mess, and they're teaching me how to fax documents and all this other nonsense. That's me. Maybe you like being around older agents, and that's the exact environment you want to be a part of. You like, I don't know, the smell of being around older people. I don't know, but for me, I think that I like the diversity. Not I think, I know, being around younger agents too that are in their early 20s, that have had early success in real estate, that have already bought investment properties, that are coming out guns blazing, and I can see the hunger and their drive, and that fuels me to give me more added hunger and drive. So I like being a part of that, to seeing what they're doing in their business and how, you know, quickly they came on the scene and what they're doing to grow their businesses. And I like talking to seasoned agents too. And notice I didn't say 80 plus, I used the word seasoned. Seasoned agents, and seeing how their business has evolved and how they're still active and all those good things. I think both of those areas are good to learn from. So for me, that's important. Ask yourself that question. Do you see yourself fitting into the brokerage? And find out what type of agents are going to be at the brokerage that you are thinking about joining. All right, so we talked about training, right? We talked about financials. We talked about culture. There's so many other things, right, that can fall under those categories or even be separate categories. You know, accountability, different training programs. There's a whole lot of different things to think about when joining a brokerage. To me, these are going to be the top 3 things that I would be thinking about. So hopefully this helped you guys in determining what brokerage that you want to be a part of. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Give this a like. Feel free to throw a comment in the comment section. And if you guys are thinking about joining a brokerage and haven't yet, or maybe you're a part of a brokerage already but want to have a discussion with me, feel free to do that. I'd love to have a conversation with you guys about the brokerage that I'm at and share the benefits to see if it aligns with some of the things you're looking for, to see if it's a good fit. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.